Gunnar Thompson with Oat Specialties, and today we're finishing up our four-part series over recovery. Alright, today, first off, if you haven't already watched, watch part 1, 2, and 3 somewhere over here. Basically, we went over what is recovery, how your body actually recovers, what happens to your body before it recovers, and then on the last part we did talk about how your body actually recovers, and that lends itself into today's video. Today I'm going to show you just a few tools that you can use in order to kind of enhance your recovery process. Now, if you go back and watch part 3, or if you already have and you know what I'm about to say, there's a few things that we worry about or we stress whenever we're looking for recovery. First part's going to be blood flow. We got to get the bad guys out, the good guys in, and tell them where to stand. So basically we need blood flow, we need the muscles pumping and being activated in order to get the bad guys into the lymphatic system so it can flush them out. And then we need the blood flow to bring in the new cells, the new hormones to help regenerate that area. And then we need to stress the area enough so that the tissue knows, the new tissue and the new cells knows how to act, but not stress it too much that you re-injure or you rehab those microtrauma to the area. So, first things first, probably our most popular recovery tool in our toolbox is the shoulder tube. The shoulder tube, it does a great job of a couple of those areas. One is going to be activation of the musculature. So when you use the shoulder tube is going to activate pretty much all the muscles in the shoulder, in the arm, and in that shoulder complex. So that gives you a great, I guess, flush if you want to call it. The other thing it does is for whenever you start using it for a little bit of a period of time, you're going to start to notice that there's blood flow to the arm. That's why that's used a lot in warm-ups as well, is because it helps your body get warmed up because it's pumping blood. So there's two aspects that the shoulder tube does really, really, really well. Next is going to be our baseball training sock. So remember when we talked about you need to stress the area enough, but not stress it too much. The baseball training sock is perfect. Randy Sullivan at the Florida Baseball Armory, they did a pilot study in-house that showed the baseball training sock was about half the stress as throwing a regular pitch. So what that allows you to do is simulate an actual throw, but you're reducing the stress that's actually on there. So that's exactly what we need. We need to stress the area enough, but not too much. Next, we're going to talk about the Rocket Wrap. So the Rocket Wrap compression floss is something that you wrap on the area, whether it's elbow, shoulder, wrist, knee, you name it. And you leave it on there for 30 seconds to no longer than a minute. You're performing activities with it on. What that does is it tightens the area so it almost acts like a pump in itself. But then also when you release that wrap, you really send a lot of blood flow to that area pretty much immediately. And that kind of helps in the recovery process. Next, let's talk about weighted balls. So again, we're going back to that, stressing the area enough, but not too much. Well, if you've been around long enough or you've listened to enough experts talk about it, actually weighted balls, the heavier the weighted balls and the lighter intensity being thrown with the heavier balls is actually really, really less stressful than throwing regular. So you see a lot of guys for recovery, they may go ahead and take a 2-pound ball or a 21-ounce ball, and they might do some really light throwing into either a wall or one of our portable plyo mats. They might do that to kind of help that recovery process as well. Again, stressing the area enough, but not too much. Next is going to be something that we actually did when I was in college about 6 or 7, I guess 8 years ago now. The arm speed chain. So it was actually something that for the first time I got to use when I was in college, and I really enjoyed it after the fact because again, we're kind of getting all in one. So the speed chain, you're activating the musculature, Okay, you're also simulating a throw, so you're getting that stress just enough, and then also you do it enough times and you're getting that blood flow. So it really kind of checks all those boxes. It's a great activity for afterwards for recovery, and then you could always step up your game on some of the off days, and it can be used really as a performance tool too. But we used it a lot in the recovery process, and I really, really, really enjoyed it. And lastly, let's talk about the exercise bands. So the exercise bands do a great job of activating the musculature in our shoulder and our shoulder complex, so that scap area, the back with the rhomboids. So it's really great to be doing before, during your warm-ups to get some activation there. But again, it's a great job of kind of pumping the muscles so that we can get the bad guys out and put them into the lymphatic system so our body can get rid of it. Those tools are incredibly useful in the recovery process. Now I'm going to be honest with you. Do you need all of them? Maybe not. Okay? I know personally, if I had to pick, I would say maybe 3. Okay? If I had to pick 3 for me, I loved using the shoulder tube. The sock came around really after I was playing, but I would definitely use the sock and then the exercise band. They're very cost efficient, but they're very, very effective. And then of course, when I was in college, I got to use the arm speed chain. I love it. If you have the space and you're able to use that kind of tool, it's a great option as well. Now, again, there's one last thing that we talked about in the recovery process, and that's getting into that parasympathetic state. You need to get into that relaxation mode. So people kind of ask me all the time, well, if you're doing all these activities after you play, then are you really getting into that parasympathetic state? And my answer to that is you can be. Okay, if you focus on your breathing and do these with light enough intensity, then you can get into that parasympathetic state and also get the benefits of activating the musculature, getting the blood flow, and then also telling the new cells how to act. So you can do that, but at the very end, I highly recommend you get some breathing in, get some of that deep diaphragmatic breathing, that deep belly breathing, and really focus on your breath. Get everything out of your head and just relax so that your body can really recover. This was our 4-part series over recovery. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you don't miss a thing, and we'll see you on the next video.